Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session on simplifying network operations and accelerating ROI with cnMaestro. This webinar is being recorded, and if you have any questions, please enter them into the questions panel. I'd like to introduce today's speakers from Cambium Networks. We have Azif Abdul Salam, Mark Heeman, and Jagdish Girimaji.
Yeah, Olivia, thank you. This is Jagdish. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining. I appreciate your time. Mark and Azif will do most of the talking and the demo today, but before they get started, I just wanted to set the stage and point out some key highlights of cnMaestro. cnMaestro, some of you may know, but just for the benefit of everyone, is a simple yet sophisticated platform that delivers ROI for partners who have small deployments to MSPs who are trying to do complex operations in larger networks. The platform also provides a single pane of glass for the entire Cambium portfolio, from fixed wireless to enterprise Wi-Fi to switching. In summary, it provides comprehensive lifecycle management with zero-touch onboarding, easy configuration and monitoring, again, supporting networks from small to large networks. And Mark will get into the details of this. And finally, I also want to point out that cnMaestro is available in both as a cloud managed platform as well as on premises. So Mark will focus on the zero-touch onboarding and configurations and the TCO part of that. Azif will focus on the platform capabilities that include API and webhooks for northbound notifications. And this is critical and important because this allows integration to third-party backend servers for collecting, processing data, and delivering vertical outcomes, leveraging the Cambium's ecosystem partners. I want to emphasize that this is really a game changer and an important capability that you have access to, where you can start to deliver new and differentiated services to your customers. So hopefully that will be useful presentation today. A lot of good stuff. With that, I'm going to pass it on to Mark. Mark?
Okay, well, thank you, Jagdish. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mark Heeman, and what I'd like to do today is take you through a demo of cnMaestro. Before I get started on it, just a couple of things about cnMaestro I'd like to mention, and Jagdish did a good job of bringing these topics up. But the first thing is the UI it's a very simple system to use for the administrator. And this is very important in today's world, as my experience in the IT world is IT departments are getting smaller and smaller, and the demands on them are getting larger and larger. So we have to do more with less. So it's very important for the management systems that they work with to be very simple to use. And in comes cnMaestro. The GUI is very simple to navigate, very simple to create templates, or we call them AP groups, zero-touch provisioning, which I'll show you in just a moment, meaning that we can essentially create and configure the network before the APs even arrive. cnMaestro offers a complete lifecycle solution, meaning that again, we can configure the network before the APs arrive. Once we plug them into the network, they get their configuration, and from there, over time, we will monitor, we'll manage, we'll troubleshoot, everything to go through the complete life cycle of this access point. And here's the beauty. Jagdish talked about ROI, return on investment. Well, with cnMaestro, it's license free, meaning that you don't pay anything for the management system. You don't pay any licenses for the management system. You don't pay for client licenses, AP licenses. There's none of that. No recurring fees, no subscriptions. So return on investment is huge. I don't know of any other vendor who's going to offer a license-free management system, especially with the capabilities that I'm going to show you in cnMaestro. Okay, don't be fooled. Just because it's license-free doesn't mean that it's lacking on on the features. This is a feature-rich management system, and I'm going to show you that here in just a moment. Okay, so let me get rid of this screen. And now, so one of the, talking about the ROI, right? So to go to cnMaestro, you open up your web browser, you go to cloud.cambiumnetworks.com. If you do not yet have your company account, it's real simple. Right here in the middle of the page, you click this link, click here to register. You enter your email address. There's an automated email that gets sent back to you. You answer it, you answer a couple of questions, and then you will have your own credentials in just a matter of minutes. So you can easily log in to cnMaestro. And once you log in, you're taken to the dashboard. Before I get into the dashboard, though, as Jagdish mentioned, this is a multi-tenant management system, meaning that you can manage multiple networks from a single pane of glass. As you can see here, I have access to, I don't know, about 6 or 7 different networks here. And the way this happened was administrators from different networks invited me to be an administrator, or they gave me access to their network. Okay, and the way they did that was they went to application and users, and then they added a new user. So essentially they put in my email address, and then they signed me a role, a super administrator, which is full permissions, or administrator, operator, or monitor. So, I mean, I can be an administrator, part of their IT staff, or I can just go in and give them suggestions or recommendations on what I would do to help them optimize their network. Okay, so from a single pane of glass, I can manage a bunch of different networks. All right, let me start off. By going to this network here that a bunch of people from Cambium Networks are sharing. Because what I want, the thing I want to show you here is we call it a node tree. Okay, these are all the devices that are managed under this network here. All right, and when I say network, I mean a globally network, because underneath the system here, these are all separate networks. These are all separate campuses or different networks set up at people's offices or at their houses or whatever. But point being that we have multiple networks here. And what I want to show you is that we're going to have visibility now into the entire Cambium product line. Okay, from the long range the long range backhaul PTP towers to the distribution layer ePMP radios, cnMatrix switches, and cnPilot access points. Okay, all again from a single pane of glass. And these different areas, these different devices, when I click on them, you're going to see that my dashboard changes for each one of these devices. Okay, and so what that tells me is that I now have visibility into each one of these different devices, and also I have up at the top, and I'm not going to get into this right now, I'll get into it in a moment, but I have different options, configuration options, performance metrics, software updates and tools. For right now, I'm looking at a switch, but I'd also have the same thing with an access point or with a tower. Okay, again, all from a single pane of glass. Now I'm going to go back to my lab network where I'm much more familiar, and I'm not afraid of messing up somebody else's network if I make a couple of changes. Okay, so let me talk real quickly about zero touch, what that means. Okay, this is part of the beauty of cnMaestro. But essentially, I can go in and I can create networks. Okay, and under the networks, I can add access points, I can add towers, I can add switches. Okay, and right next to my networks, you're going to see Wi-Fi AP groups. Okay, an AP group is like a golden template. when you add devices to this AP group, they're going to take on the configuration of this AP group. So you create an AP group, and I'm not going to create one for you. I'm not going to take you through how to create SSIDs and VLANs and set schedules. What I want to show you here, instead of all that, is I want to show you all the features that you have access to, all the configuration options that you have access to when configuring an AP group. And the goal here is not to overwhelm you with all the features. What I want you to notice, remember that this is a no license management system. It is still very, very rich on configurations and features. Okay, that's what I'm going to show you here. I'm not going to show you how to set up. Let me start off with set up your template. Okay, you create a template, you give it a name, you can put your location in, you assign SSIDs to it. Under the management screen, please change your admin password. Don't leave it at the default admin. Are you going to use SSH to get into the access points, or HTTP, HTTPS? You'll need to set a time zone. That's very important. Okay. You'll also want to put in an NTP server. Configure the radios. The 2.4 and 5 gigahertz radios. And again, what I want you to notice here is that you have all the features that you would expect to see in any enterprise class management system. Okay, do you want to select your channels, or do you want the system to do it for you? Antenna gain, beacon intervals, minimum unicast rate. Do you want to let slow people on your network, or do you want to try to keep some of the slower people off your network? Not a bad idea. Airtime fairness guarantees more airtime for your faster devices. So you can get more faster devices on and off the network. And the slower devices, well, they're going to get their turn. They're just going to have to wait their turn. Okay. Auto RF, you can allow the APs to communicate with each other and to scan the air, and they will adjust power settings accordingly to optimize the performance for the clients. All right, that's the 2.4 band, and you have the same options pretty much with the 5 gigahertz band. Okay, even building bonding channels up to 80 megahertz wide. Okay, on the network page, there we go. On the network page, I configure my Ethernet ports. Okay, is Ethernet port 1 going to be an access port? Is it only going to be for a single VLAN? Probably not. In an enterprise environment, there's probably going to be multiple VLANs, so you probably want to set this in trunk mode. Okay. Access control list. This is just one area where you can build access control lists. You can build blacklists. So these devices, these specific devices cannot get on the network, or build a whitelist. These specific devices can get on the network. Okay, IP routing, for IPv4, IPv6, DHCP pools, GRE tunnels, VLAN pools. So, again, what I'm trying to impress upon you is that it is a very powerful management system, even though you don't need licenses for it. We also have a couple of or several security spoof prevention or protection measures built in. And underneath here, the user-defined overrides. So the operating system of the cnPilot access points is very, very, very powerful. And we do not have all the little bells and whistles and tweaks available in the GUI that we have in the operating system. So if there are very specific configurations that you need to have in your network, well, you can come in here to the user-defined overrides, and it's like a CLI tool. You just put in the CLI commands, and those commands get pushed to the access points that are a part of this AP group. So we give you the full configuration options of the management system. Okay, so you know, once we've got this AP group built, well then we can start to add access points to it. Okay, and you know, earlier I talked about the you know, zero touch. Okay, zero touch provisioning. Well, the first part of that zero touch provisioning is configuring your network, configuring that AP group. Okay, and then as you add access points to the AP group, they take on that configuration. Well, adding access points, you know, onboarding access points into cnMaestro is very, very simple. There's a couple of ways to do it. The first way is just to use this onboarding button over here, okay? And you claim a device, this window pops up, and you can put in serial numbers individually. You can copy and paste a CSV file of serial numbers in here, and you can also use a barcode scanner. So 3 different ways to enter those access point serial numbers into this box, okay? Now, the way personally that I like to add access points is, remember, I've got this nice little network tree built over here. So, you know, and I've got my, let me come back over here to my networks. I've got my demo network built up. I've got a tower. I've got a demo site. A network can be like a campus or a building. You know, it's a logical grouping for your network, and it might be your entire network, okay? And then underneath that, we build sites, and a site is just an organizational unit. So I have a big campus. A site might be a building, you know, building 1, or site might be the library, or the site might be the auditorium, or, you know, just a logical grouping or sub-segment of my overall network. Okay, so when I'm onboarding products, what I like to do is I like to put the products, the new devices, under the segment of my network, under the site that I'm going to be managing. So in this case, I would come over here to my demo site and click on these 3 dots here, and then I would claim devices. Okay, and this looks very much like the window we just saw a couple of minutes ago for onboarding devices. So once again, I'll come in here and I will add devices. I'll add the serial numbers. I'll add them individually, or I'll copy and paste them in here, or I could use a barcode scanner. And I could even get really fancy here if I wanted to. I could go ahead and assign the AP group this template, okay? I click claim devices, the system goes off, and the devices communicate to the cloud, and they're added to the AP group, and they get the AP group configuration. So I'm done. As an administrator, I'm done. This makes it easy for me within my building, makes it really easy for me going out to remote locations. If I've got a remote location, I have the access point sent out there, somebody out there plugs it into the network and hangs it from the ceiling, and it's done, okay? Because this access point is already part of my AP group, so it's getting the configuration, it's getting software updates, it's done. Now all I have to do is monitor and manage it. The configuration part is done. Okay, so makes it very, very easy. Now, something else I wanted to show you was, again, we have this entire network tree over here, right? When I click on devices, I mentioned this earlier, you see that the windows change, okay? And up at the top, each one of these has options, okay? My dashboard, the dashboard is a quick at-a-glance overview of the system status and activity. You know, right now I'm looking at a switch, okay, my network switch, and I get details on it. I get transmit rates, receive rates, error rates. Just it's a real good overview of the status and health of my network. Notifications, these are system generated alerts, and depending on the severity of the alert, I can have it automatically emailed to myself or other administrators, so we're not caught off guard. And under notifications, I have a history, I have events, So again, just a really nice toolbar all for the switch here. Configuration. Okay, yes, I can configure my switch the same way that I can configure my access points. All right, a switch group is very much like an AP group. All right, where I can go in and configure settings on this switch. And now every time I add a new switch to the network, I put it in this switch group. It's called my corp switch group, and it gets this configuration. Okay, I've got my my time server, my time zone under network. I set up my VLANs. Okay, my default gateway. I can come over to switch ports and configure the switch ports. You can see here that I've got several switch ports over here. I've got access points on these switch ports. All right, and down here you can see my port channels. I've got two ports 7 and 8 bonded together, okay, to create a port channel back to the core of the network. But again, all this stuff is just really right here. It's very simple. It's right here at my fingertips. If I want to see what VLANs I've assigned to the different ports, I go to the network tab. All right, so again, very powerful. All right, now let's go back to my network tree and show you the access points. Okay, what I wanted to show you across the access points is again how up here at the top our options change. Yes, I have my dashboard. Okay, come over here. I think it should be a little bit more activity. So you know, I can see the number of clients, the throughput rates, details on this access point. As I come across, I've already shown you notifications, the configuration. That's our AP group. Okay, details. So now I'm going to get specific details about this access point. Okay, how's it looking? Okay, noise floor neg 95, neg 105. Those are really good numbers. Okay, so my network's looking pretty clean at this point. Network info. This is going to show me you know, my Ethernet port configuration. Okay, VLANs, default routes, things like that. Under performance, when I'm starting to monitor or troubleshoot, I probably come to this page quite often. I want to look at my throughput, the number of clients, the noise floor levels, very important because clients might have great RSSI level but still have poor performance. Might be because of the noise floor, packet rates, CPU usage, things like that. Okay. Software updates, very important. You know, how do you want to configure your network to take on software updates? You know, which release do you want them to have? Do you want to schedule the jobs to happen off hours, you know, Saturday between 10 at night and 2 in the morning? Or is this, and if that happens, then you know what, your access points are all probably going to reboot, you know, within a very relatively short period of time. And if there's nobody in the office, that's okay. But let's say you've got a 24/7 office. Well, things change up a little bit, okay? So you cannot have that massive reboot. So you schedule and you say, okay, only 3 or 4 access points at a time will do the update. Tools, very important here. We give you a very nice toolbox, all right? Again, this is for the access point. We can create basic and advanced debug logs. Packet captures, we can do PCAPs, packet capture files on the Ethernet port, the wireless LAN, the VLAN, or the SSID. Network connectivity tools, ping, DNS lookup, traceroute. We can even do a Wi-Fi analysis, a spectrum analysis on the air in both the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz bands. Okay, and again, these are all from a single pane of glass. Looking at the clients, these are the clients that are currently connected. I can drill in on the client a little bit here to get more information about this specific client. Okay, the next thing I wanted to show you was that built in with this besides all these really neat features, the zero-touch provisioning, the AP groups, the switch groups, you know, the visibility into all the Cambium products, we also have a nice, respectable guest access portal, okay, where you can create your own guest access portal. So let me create a new group here, demo portal. Oh, doesn't like that. I guess I've already got that somewhere. Well, okay, I'm fat fingering, my bad. I've already got a guest portal created here, so I'm just going to open it up. And when we go to configure a guest portal, when I go to the access page, we can have free portals, paid portals, or voucher portals. A free portal is exactly that. You enable free access. You can set how long the client has access for. You can set rate limits upstream and downstream rate limits. You can set quota limits. So essentially, you can say that the client gets to have 200 megabits of data, and after that, then they get shut off. Okay, they'll have to log in again. If they want to use their social media accounts to log in after they've successfully logged in the first time, they can use Google, Twitter, Facebook, Office. And then we can also send text messages to them for their login credentials. All right, if you're going to use a paid portal, you would use PayPal, iPay, QuickPay, Orange, M-Pesa, or plan details. The voucher portal is where you create a portal and you create vouchers. You have the system create vouchers for you that you add, that you export out of the system, and then you pass them out. So maybe you're doing a guest portal for a coffee shop, okay, and they want to give their users 1 hour of free access every time they purchase a cup of coffee. So we go into the system, we create a bunch of vouchers, and we export them in a CSV file. Then we import that CSV file into their point of sale counter or their point of sale software. And every time they generate a receipt, it has a voucher. So now the customer can sit down, look at their receipt, enter the voucher number when they hit that guest portal, and they get access for an hour. Okay, let me show you how quick and easy it is to set up these access portals. So essentially, we've got this splash portal here. Okay, and up at the top, we have different options for you, just different themes, if you will. Here's an airport theme, a beach theme, a coffee shop theme, and a hotel theme. Okay, so the coffee shop theme, I've already come in and I've inserted this logo up here, but that was real simple. I just go to someplace on my network where I've already saved this logo, okay, and then I can change the background on it as well. All right, and I'll just leave that right there. Okay, the background, I can change the background. Let me select this background right here. All right, and change the color on it. Let's see, actually I want to come up here and put that in there like that. And this will make a little bit more sense. Let me save this so that it shows my background. And it'll be just another couple seconds here. And we're nearing the finish line, and there we go. Okay, so what I was trying to do here was just kind of get rid of this this orange. We'll do that. There we go. Okay, so I wanted the picture to show up a little bit closer. a little bit clearer. And I've already added the Java Joe's coffee shop over here and the Java Joe's internet enjoy free internet access. Again, the idea here is just to show you how quick and easy these things can be done. These portals are very nice. They're very quick. They're very easy, and you get creative. You can get creative. You can put your own backgrounds in. You can put your own logo. You can put your own text, and you can change the way the text looks. So for a nice little 5-minute guest page or guest access portal, that actually looks pretty nice. Okay, so I'm nearing the end of my presentation. What I'd like to do now is I'm going to pass it over to Azif and let him take it from here.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Are you able to see my screen, Mark?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to add another star on the onboarding process explained by Mark. Using cnArcher. Most of you already know what cnArcher, right? So our cnArcher is a mobile app from Cambium Networks, which you will be using for installing a new subscriber module or aligning your subscriber module to a right access point or do some spectrum analysis. These are the features which you already know about cnArcher, but in 1.4.9 version of cnArcher, which support the onboarding of cnPilot. So you can download this app from Google Play Store, and you can try onboarding your access point using the app. So once you log into the cnArcher, you will see the home screen, and it will show you a simple example how you can onboard your cnPilot. Next, actually, once you log into the Archer and click on the home screen, and you can see onboard option, and use this onboard option and use this camera for scanning. So here I am showing how do I scan my one of my E410 access point, and it automatically get your MSN. And you can claim that MSN to your own cnMaestro instance using this app. So some of the requests came from our existing customers, those who have hundreds of sites across the globe, and they were spending a lot of man hours to track down which serial number or which access point has been shipped from one distribution unit from site 1 location 1 in Australia, or another site 2 location 2 in Mexico, or another site 3 location 3 in North America. So they were doing man hours to find out, okay, which are the serial numbers or which are the batch of APs went to which location. This we made it very simplified using this app. What you can do is you can ask your operator or the person who is wiring the access point on each site and give a operator account to him, and he can scan the access point and place the access point to the place where he is onboarding, or a place where he is connecting the access point, or the site 1 where he's connecting. He can place that particular access point on your cnMaestro, which network or which site it belongs to. This makes it very simple, or it saves a lot of man hours from our own customers. They don't need to track which serial number it is going and shipping. So this is a new feature on cnArcher. Next, after this, I would recommend you to download the cnArcher and try it out. Next, let me go and explain a couple of features which has come on cnMaestro 2.3 version, and some upgrades has been done on 2.4 version, which has been recently released. The first one I wanted to talk about is the RESTful API which support on cnMaestro. You all know that we do support RESTful APIs, which is HTTPS based, and we use 2.0 for client credential grant access. But the problem some of the customers or the partners face when they are integrating their network system or a analytics platform or a orchestrator to pull some data or pull some stats from cnMaestro, what they used to do is they have to they should know what is the right API to call, and then they need to test it out. For testing it out, they wanted to download or install a Postman app or some third-party app for testing the API, or they may be writing some script. If you're writing a script or using a Postman, you need to have an authorization token for doing this, all the transactions, right? Or finally, you will be calling your Cambium friend, hey, what's the API I needs to use it for pulling some stats. This process, these so many steps are there, installing the Postman app or scripting or authorization token, all this we made it very simplified in 2.3 version of cnMaestro. In 2.3 version of on-premises cnMaestro, what you can do is you can create, once you go to the cnMaestro, you can go to the services, you can go and create your own API clients. This is already there, API client is already there. So how you can do is you can go to add a API. For the test purpose, I'm adding test01 and demo API. And if you want to have a concurrent access, you can give concurrent access, save it. So now you created a new API client from cnMaestro. It created the client ID and client secret, which I'm not going to go details here, because now let me show you what is new in cnMaestro 2.3. You would have saw a Swagger try it out option here. So what it will do is, once you click on try it out option, it opens a new beautiful RESTful API Swagger Northbound API documentation page. Here you can see in 2.3 version or 2.4 version or in the coming versions of cnMaestro, what are the APIs is supported, and it is properly arranged in an order on the feature wise. If you want to go to an alarms, yes, it's there. You want to try it on AP groups, it's there. And if you want to try it on network sites or what exactly you are looking, we have arranged it in a very organized manner. And here you can try the advantage here is you don't need to have a Postman, or you don't need to have the script, or you don't need to do the authorization token for. You want to try it out, right? You can test it out here. Come here and you can try. Now I just, for the demo purpose, I wanted to show you all the alarms on my system. You can click try it out here. And there are some optional configuration parameters. If you wanted to do that, you can do it, or you can just simply execute the command. And here you got it. Here you got what is the actual API which is used for getting the alarms from cnMaestro, and how does that look like. Let me zoom in a little bit. What's the actual API it's used, and how the output looks like. Is the device offline? It's an alarm. It's a device offline, or there's a configuration issue. What's the detail of the configuration linked to different. So this is how you can test your APIs using Swagger. Now you want to know maybe, and after doing that you can cancel this, and you want to try another feature. Okay, I want to see how many AP groups are available on the system, or you wanted to create a new AP groups. Yes, that option is there. Or you want to create a WLAN. Yes, that also is there. Now let me try just first get an AP group, and here I'm not entering all the optional fields. Let me try this out and execute the command. So you will be knowing, okay, what is the actual API. Now you know what the API you need to be used in your orchestrator or your platform. I see there are 16 total AP groups are there in the system. Let me go and validate that is correct. Now for the demo purpose, I spawned a primary and standby controller which has 2 tenants in it, one tenant in it, and I have 3 access points configured. And out of 3 access points, I made 1 access point purposefully offline and 2 access points are live. let's check how many AP groups are there. If you go to the WLAN and AP group, I see there are total 18 access AP groups are there. You can filter it using this. Out of the total 18 access point, if you see, we have CN Pilot, residential access point, and enterprise access point. So CN Pilot residential is, I have 2 access points, so 18 minus 2, all 16 are my enterprise access point groups. Now, if I come back and see what's output, yes, I do have 16 enterprise access points. So if you see the API, which I call was Wi-Fi enterprise access point. So you can see 16 access point, and that will give you the details of access point. And now you know what are the details it is getting it from an API. And you can program your script, or you can consume this APIs directly from the Swagger API documentation. Like this, you have other options like creating an AP group and Wi-Fi, creating a WLAN, and quickly let me go over the WLAN. And I just wanted to share you can create a WLAN and you can delete a WLAN, and if you wanted to create an EPSK, some of the partners needs to have unique password for a device or a group of devices, but they wanted to have a single Wi-Fi across the MDU, and they want to have different EPSKs for different units. So you can do all these things through now API. So that's about our Swagger API integration. And now let me go for the next feature, which is available on 2.3, is about the notification. So a notification, already you know, in cnMaestro you have an email notification. If there is a device goes offline, you get an email notification, or if there's a configuration error, you get an email notification, or a syslog, you have it. But the new feature which is available on 2.3 is webhooks integration of webhooks integration. With webhooks integration, what you are getting is you are getting the real-time streaming of alarms, and you can push that to a external web services like Slack or your Microsoft Teams, Twilio, Zapier, Datadog, PagerDuty, SansLogic, name whatever the service you want to have it. You can stream these alarms to the external web services. So how can you do that? Let me open a new one which I already created. Here I am doing a demo on Slack. So just give a name as what name you wanted to give, and next is the URL. This URL will be telling us, okay, where actually I am going to do the HTTPS post, or which service. Is it a service for the Slack, or is service for the Twilio, or which URL I need to send that? So how can you get this URL, right? So that will be how you can find it out easily from Cambium. How did I integrate? How can I integrate my cnMaestro with Slack or Twilio? So that one actually our documentation team and QA team has done a good job. What you can do is you can go to support.cambiumnetworks.com and you can download the user guide. Once you download the user guide, this I have already downloaded the user guide, and search for webhooks. You get the webhooks integration. Now, if you come to the webhooks section, you can see that, okay, what are the integration you can examples, you can see it here. And if you wanted to do a Slack integration, if you go down to the page, actually, if you go down to the page, you can see, okay, on your Slack account, you want to create you go to the administration, manage apps, build a new app, and mention your workspace, and create an app button, and you enable after creating an app button, you can enable the webhooks integration and enable active incoming webhooks requests. So there in the bottom of the same screen on your Slack page, you have the URL which we need to copy. So this is the URL you may need to copy from your Slack account and paste it here. So the cnMaestro knows actually where I need to send the send the request to you, which service he can send the request. Next is in the managed account. Now consider you are an MSP account, or you have multiple accounts on cnMaestro. You can select which account you wanted to have. Do you wanted to have this alert from all the accounts or a particular tenant, which is very critical for your business? For the demo, I am just selecting is all, and there is a basic authentication, username and password authentication is there. If I'm just not going that detail, I'm not enabling that. And in the filter option, we have the severity levels. You wanted to send an alert or alarm which has a major alarm. If it says a minor alarm comes, you don't want to send it, or you want to send only for the critical, then you can select a critical. Or if you're not selecting, by default we'll be sending all the severity alarms which is generated on cnMaestro. And next option we gave you is the device types. Device types, here you can mention, hey, I wanted to generate an alarm which is very critical for my business, which is e-series access point. If there is any configuration sync problem, or if there is any device goes offline or online, I need to get an alert on my Teams channel, or I need to get an alert on my Slack channel. So you can select that particular device. Here I'm selecting all the device now for the demo. Next, in the advanced configuration, you have two different types of contents you can have it. One is the URL encoded format, and another one is JSON. And the template, you can have a default template which will have a default template saying that, okay, this particular device went offline or online. But if you wanted to have a custom message like that, hello, okay, and this is the alarm raised, okay, there is an alarm raised by the device with an IP address. So if you see here, I have added some variables like $alarm name and $device name. So there is a proper documentation available on our user guide here. If you go back to the same user guide, go to the webhook section, you can see what are the variables you can define in your custom message, like that. Okay, I wanted to include device MAC. Okay, what device is having a problem? I want to include the device model number, or I wanted to include the managed account, which tenant has this problem, or I want to include the network name. So all these things can be framed in a text format, and you can frame your message here, message or the template here, and save it. And then once you save it, and if you wanted to check whether this is working, you can click a test webhooks. I'm just sending a test webhook message. I want to see that I'm getting it on my Slack channel here. So if you see there is a new alarm as raised, this is a test alarm. We will do a live demo. How does it? This is a test alarm. I want to check that is working. Now let me go and check a live issue. Now here I'm going to the office room, one access point, which is an E410, and the configuration is in sync. Let me open this access point and let me do a quick change on the configuration and see I'm getting an alarm quickly. Now let me log into the E410, going to the configuration, I'm going to the system. Right now I'm going to do a small change on the name here directly on the access point. That means actually right now this AP is managed from cnMaestro, and the configuration which is in sync from cnMaestro to the AP. Now I'm going to change that configuration on the AP directly. Let me save it here. I saved this configuration. Usually what I should see is I should go back and check it here. I should see my AP is not in sync. So I saw that AP is not in sync. I should see an alert coming on my Slack channel saying that, hey, there is a configuration single alarm raised by the device with IP address, this one, and on my network, California, and the site is corporate office 1. This has been, this is the This is an instantaneous or real-time streaming of alarms to your Slack channel. So similar way you can, if you have a Teams or if you have a pager duty, you can do that alarm. Now let me go and fix the problem and see. I don't want it to have this change. Let me sync the configuration from the from the cnMaestro to the access point. Let me see whether that is getting changed. Give us few seconds here. It's completed. Now it's in sync and back with the old configuration. Now let me go back and check. Is it changed here? Yes, it has been changed to the old name. Now I should be able to see an alarm here generated. Yeah, I see there's an alarm generated. There's a configuration saying alarm rise. The severity is alarm. The status of the alarm is cleared. Previously the status of the alarm is active. Right now the alarm is saying that if you fix the problem, the alarm got cleared. This is another live example of webhooks integration. So by saying that, I wanted to have a recap on whatever we discussed for making your simplify or making your network simplify operation. You can use cnArcher for onboarding process if you wanted to save some man hours on your tracking of the serial numbers and where it is shipped or placing it. That you can do that using cnArcher. And you can use your northbound APIs for testing it out. Is that API working? Is that what actually you wanted? You are looking from cnMaestro. The third is webhooks integration. I want to leave you all these thoughts and try yourself and let us know if you have any further questions to Jagadish, Mark, or myself.
Hey. Yeah, Asif, thank you very much. This is Jagdish. There's a few questions I would like to answer, and I'm going to ask both Asif and Mark to jump in here. The first question is, I have 4 Cambium devices. I have planned 2 devices for Mac authentication and 2 devices for password-based authentication. Can I configure using SSID?
Oh, yes. The question is, he has 4 devices and 2 he wanted to use the Mac authentication and 2 he wanted to use the password authentication. Definitely that is possible. And is it for the same WLAN or different WLAN? That if it's a Capri portal, you wanted to have a Mac auth fallback, that also is possible. Yes, that is now to answer the question. Yes, you can have one WLAN configured for Mac authentication and another WLAN is configured for ONNX authentication. Yes, it's possible.
Thank you, Asif. The next question is, can Cambium routers auto detect network settings, or do we have to input them manually?
That's a very good question, Jagadish. Actually, yes. As Mark mentioned, we don't recommend anybody to touch the routers individually, because you may be configuring or installing hundreds of routers or access points from in your site. So everything will be automatic. So how does the onboarding process work is, it will listen on the first it will listen on the DHCP and learn the details on the DHCP and like IP address, default gateway, DNS, everything can be automatically detected from the DHCP and take it from there.
Awesome, thank you, Asif. And then one more question: is it possible to block social websites?
Yes, if you wanted to do a particular DNS based blocking, there is a DNS in the cnMaestro itself. When you create, I believe when Mark was sharing it under the WLAN or an AP group, I need to check that. So there is an option in the access control there. You can go DNS based ACLs you can add. So if you want to do a blocking on Facebook, yes, you can add facebook.com on the DNS URL and you can apply that to a particular WLAN. That is possible.
Awesome, thank you, Asif. And there's a question on what is this Pro banner and how much does it cost and so on, and the availability and so on. So I'm going to take that. So the Pro banner basically is a signal that we are going to be introducing some advanced management capabilities, and the the management capabilities are tagged as Pro. In the near future, you will see us come out, and it will not be a free offer. It will be a paid subscription, and the terms will be 1, 3, and 5 years. We will announce and provide more details on pricing and exact availability in the next 6 to 8 weeks. So please stay tuned. But we are pivoting to a model where we've got comprehensive management that you have seen from Mark and Azef. We are starting to build on that, and a certain set of features that we will introduce in the future, and those that have been tagged as Pro will all be monetized features. So, but please stay tuned for more details. Those were the key questions I wanted to cover. We've covered them all. With that, we should be able to hand it back to Olivia. Thanks to all for participating. Hey, Olivia, back to you.
We'll send out an email with a link to the recording on our online community. And next week's webinar is the Wi-Fi Designer webinar, which will be happening Tuesday, June 9th at 9 a.m. Central Time. Thank you for joining and have a good day.